Mr. Haggings, would you give us your full name and DOC number, please?
Jeff Andrew Haggings, 377590.
Mr. Haggings, this is a parole revocation hearing. Let me explain our procedure to you. First, I'm going to go over your parole revocation questionnaire with you. Do you have that with you?
Yes, sir, I do.
And after we do that, I'm going to go over the allegations of how it's alleged that you violated your parole. I'm going to ask you as to each of those allegations to plead either not guilty with a statement, guilty, or guilty with a statement. After that, we'll have an opportunity to discuss these matters, and then you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board. Then we'll vote. You understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Now, do you have that parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is that your signature at the bottom of the page dated March the 10th of 2023?
Yes, sir, it is.
At the time you prepared that document and answered those questions, were those questions all accurate and correct?
Yes, sir.
Are they still accurate and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to proceed with our hearing?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. The first allegation is number 3. You failed to request a change of address on or about April the 25th of 2022 and moved without getting permission of your parole officer before doing so. How do you plead to that allegation, sir?
I plead guilty with a statement.
Okay. 4A, you have continued to engage in criminal conduct as evidenced by your arrest on November the 11th of 2022 by Louisiana State Police Troop. It says 1, but I assume that's I, for the offense of operating a vehicle while intoxicated. You submitted to a breath sample and read a 0.124 blood alcohol. On August the 23rd of 2023, you pled guilty to DWI first offense in St. Landry Parish. You were sentenced to 90 days with credit for time served. How do you plead to that allegation, sir?
I plead guilty with a statement.
4B, on January the 20th of 2023, you admitted to using alcohol on holidays and special occasions, and further admitted to last use of alcohol was on 12/31 of 22. How do you plead to that allegation?
I plead guilty with a statement.
Okay. And finally, on January the 20th of 2023, you were sent to Acadiana Safety excuse me, to submit to a drug screen and tested positive for alcohol. How do you plead to that allegation?
I plead guilty with a statement.
Okay. Mr. Haggings, is this yours?
Yes.
Mr. Haggings, your case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead and make your statements at this time in whatever order you want to make them.
As to the first dealing with the address change, I plead guilty to that because I did move to a different residence. It was like I was living there like 2 weeks until the parole officer asked if I would be home because she wanted to come pay a visit. And I informed her that I no longer live at the address that was on my parole certificate, and that I moved to an address which is closer to where I work, which was for the city of Lafayette. And she said, "Well, you never asked for permission." I said, "Well, I didn't know, and I needed permission." I said, "But I apologize." I said, there wasn't any nefarious intentions. It's just that I moved close to work, and I had the rent for fairly cheap at the time, and I was for 6 months, and then after 6 months I would be able to possibly purchase the house, but unfortunately after them 6 months it didn't work. But anyway, so she said, "Well, okay." She said, when will be a good time for me to come and see?" see you. I said, anytime it's convenient for you, day or night, it doesn't matter. Whatever time you say you coming, you can come. Well, she came to the house, she walked through and everything, and she approved it. That was over a year ago. And when on the preliminary hearing summary, I noticed that it said that I said that I didn't think it was a big deal. And the reason why I didn't think it was a big deal, because when she came and viewed the house and approved it, basically, because she came several times after that particular first time. And it's like, that's why I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought everything was cool. Like, there was nothing further.
The next one, I get you. I'm picking up what you put down on that one. So go to the next one.
Okay. Dealing with the alcohol, me admitting, I mean the DWI. Yes, I admit I'm totally wrong. I shouldn't have been drinking, period. Even when I admitted to the parole officer that I had been drinking, that I had gotten the DWI, and that I was drinking on holidays and special occasions from time to time. I admit, I was wrong. I should have never been drinking from the start. And I remember your colleague, he had gave me a lecture at the parole board during the hearing. He gave me a lecture on not being afraid to ask for help. And I admit, it's not that I was afraid to ask for help. I was too prideful. I didn't think I had a problem. That was my problem. I didn't think I had a problem with alcohol until I had gotten this DWI. And that made me recognize that, well, obviously I do have a drinking problem because I got a DWI. Even though, I could come up with excuses and say that which is the truth, but I mean, I went to a wedding, my best friend's wedding, like my brother. He finally got married after 46 years. And I was happy for him. And I had gotten a promotion at work for LUS. And I was moving from the water department, where I was a foreman, I was moving to the electrical department, become a lineman. But because of the DWI I got after I left the wedding, that changed the event. It changed things. But anyway, before I digress, I'm sorry. But yeah, I agree. I had a problem. The parole officer recommended that I start going to AA meetings 3 times a week, and that I go to the Acadiana alternative outpatient services and get evaluated by a psychiatrist. I went, I got evaluated. He requested that he recommended that I take 8 of his classes. I took those 8 classes, and the day after I completed those 8 classes, the parole officer detained me, put me in jail. So, but anyway, I was going to AA meetings 3 times a week. I had a sponsor. I was working with my sponsor, working this. I had just started working the steps. I think I was like on the 2nd or 3rd step. And I admit about failing the alcohol test. I was untruthful. I was untruthful with my parole officer with regard to the last time I drank alcohol at that time.
And for a point of reference, you drank alcohol after you finished those 8 classes. Am I correct?
No, ma'am.
When was the last you drank alcohol? You told your office.
It was New Year's. I told my parole officer the last time I drank alcohol was for New Year's.
Okay.
Of 2022, 2023.
But you were positive on January the 20th of 23.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am. That's correct because that was the date that
What's still in your system from January, from New Year's?
exactly. That's why I said I was untruthful with her about the last time I drank alcohol because that was my at that particular time I was refusing to acknowledge that I have a problem. But it wasn't until I started going to those classes and everything like that, and that's when I recognized. I mean, like, I gotta be honest with myself, if anything, and say, I do have a problem.
So when did you complete the Acadian safety program?
The alternative outreach program. I completed it on February 27th of 2023.
Because the DWI arrest was November of 22, right?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
They were kind of working with you. Because I saw somewhere where you had celebrated a 1-month sobriety chill, and then you tested positive for alcohol on 1/20.
That okay. On 1/20, or it's really January 17th when my parole officer came see me. No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. January 20th is when my parole officer came see me at my house, and that's when I admitted to her and told her that I had gotten arrested for DWI and everything like that. And she recommended that I start going to AA meetings 3 times a week, and that I go to the Acadian services to go get drug tested.
And in actuality, what I'm looking at when I read your file is that the officer offered you treatment, and treatment wasn't working. The treatment did not stop you from drinking.
Okay, if I may, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Okay, I started going to the AA meetings the week. I mean, that following, because I think it was on the 17th or the 20th when she came see me. It was a Friday.
We talking about January now, right?
Yes, ma'am. It was a Friday. It's either the 17th or the 20th. It was a Friday, and I told her about it, and she told me to go to the Acadian service to get urine tested. And I went to get urine tested, and then it wasn't until February 28th when they detained me, and that was the day after I completed the alternative outreach services classes, the 8 classes, and I had been going to AA meetings all throughout February. But that's when she recommended me to start going to AA meetings. Was in January 20th, to start going to AA meetings. That's when I started going.
How much time did you spend in jail when you got out this time?
Ma'am?
How long were you in jail when you got paroled on 9/10 of 2020? How much time did you do?
It's like 2.5 years I've been out.
Now, my question to you is, when you got paroled on September the 10th of 2020, how long had you served in jail?
25 years.
Did you ever read your parole conditions to know what you needed to do to stay free?
Honestly, I read them, but it's like I really I scanned over them.
Yeah. Okay. So no. I'm just it's just quite concerning to me. You did 25 years.
Yes, ma'am. Look, if I may,
Yes,
I understand.
I'm not understanding. Help me.
I understand the gravity of this issue, and you know, it's very serious, and I realize that. I mean, my life is on the line, and I mean,
And
quite honest,
your life was in your hands. Your life was in your hands. You had a good job, you know. What you said, you're making $3,800 a month. You had transportation. You had a place to stay.
yes, ma'am.
Your life was in your hands, not ours. Now your life was in your hands.
I understand that, ma'am. I understand that, and all I recognize my errors, the errors in my ways. I recognize them, and I'm truly sorry for what I've done, and I'm truly sorry for my actions, and all I ask is that for mercy. That's
And what is scary to me is that when you had success, you celebrated your promotion and a friend's wedding with alcohol. That's concerning.
yes, ma'am.
That's how you celebrated good times and success. You got to look at that. That's where you went to. What is your relationship with your employer now? What are they saying? What are they saying to you?
They're still willing. They're still willing to take me back.
You have that in writing?
No, ma'am. I don't have it officially in writing. No, ma'am.
When you last talked to them?
I didn't talk to him personally, but I had someone reach out to him and ask if I would still be able to if they'd still be willing to have me back.
So what is your plan? If you're successful today and you return to supervision, what is your plan to stay clean and sober? I need exactly what you're gonna do.
I'm going to AA meetings. I'm going to AA meetings.
How often?
I'm gonna try my hardest to be there 3 times a week.
So you're gonna try.
Well, considering work and everything, you know, I know a lot of time when I'm on call and I'm unable to go to I won't be able to go to the meetings because I'm working at night and everything.
Okay.
So, you know, and that's normally when I'm on call, it's at a week at a time, like a week every 2 months.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So only 1 week every 2 months, it'll be a problem.
Well, yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Only a week every 2 months. Okay.
That's correct. That's correct. And obviously, I mean, I'll be glad to take urine tests for alcohol randomly, whatever. It doesn't matter. You know, it's all good.
But again, we are back to your sobriety plan. What are you going to do to stay clean and sober? That's what we're still answering.
Well, I have to change. Obviously, I have to change my whole outlook on alcohol, because I mean, obviously, I know it's a problem, and it's a problem for me. So my plan is to steer clean away from alcohol, anybody using alcohol, anything like that. Just it's the same way how I feel about drugs. You know, that's why I don't do drugs. That's why I've never gotten into drugs, is because I steer clean away from it.
Stay on the pattern. I need your plan to stay clean and sober. Let's stay on that.
Yes, ma'am. But AA meetings and you know, stay clean away from alcohol.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for answering my questions. That's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, brother. Mr. Rochelle?
Jeffrey, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, sir.
I never thought I'd see you again.
I never thought I'd be seen by you again either.
How does a person who was convicted of second-degree murder receive a golden ticket, a commutation of sentence, and he was awarded the state police barracks, end up in that seat today? How does that happen? You should know better.
Yes, sir, I do.
You were in trouble and you didn't seek help. I'm gonna ask you a question and I want you to answer it honestly. You got out in 2020. How long have you been drinking? Be honest.
It was I want to say September of 21.
You've been drinking for over 2 years.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't reach out to your parole officer and tell him, I have a problem, I need help.
That's correct.
How many times have you got behind the wheel under the influence of alcohol?
That was at one time, sir.
It's never one time, Jeffrey, it's never one time. Fortunately, you didn't injure yourself or anyone else.
That's correct.
You had a .14124, 3, 4, 5 times the legal limit. Tell me exactly what you need now. I'm here to help you. Tell me what you need.
This was my biggest problem.
Sir, tell me what you need. You should know what you need. Tell me what you need.
I need help.
You need a long-term DOC substance abuse program. Because your alcohol problem is more serious than what you think. You will be an alcoholic the rest of your life. And you need to know how to deal with it. Because you don't know how to deal with it now. Mr. Maribel?
Mr. Haggins, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before the board votes?
Yeah, yes, sir. I realize I know I have an alcohol problem. I know it. I am alcoholic. All I ask the board is that I understand that I was given this golden opportunity to be paroled out by you, by y'all, and I slipped up and I made a bad error in judgment. And I'm truly sorry for that. But all I ask this board is to please have mercy and to give me one more chance. That's all I ask.
Thank you, Mr. Haggins. Pam, ready to vote?
I recommend executive session to discuss confidential matters related to this case.
Second.
There's been a motion and second for executive session. Would you please call the roll? Yes.
Albert Roche.
Yes.
Parole.
Yes.
Mr. Haggins, there has been a motion and a second for executive session. We're going to be at a short recess to discuss matters of confidential nature. Once we're finished with executive session, we will resume our hearing. The time is 11:15. Committee is called back to order. The time is 11:16. I think the panel is ready to vote. Ms. Wise?
Mr. Higgins, I'm just taking into consideration a lot of things. The fact that you were in state police barracks from 2018 to 2020 when you got out. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just looking at your good performance and just trying to weigh everything, but I'm just concerned. Public safety is a big part of what we do. For me, and it's just me, my vote is to revoke your supervision, impose the original sentence with a strong recommendation that you get to go to a long-term substance abuse treatment program during that time. Best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Roche?
Mr. Haggins, we have a little history. You had a pardon hearing and then you had a parole hearing. And so I'm going to say, in lieu of revocation, you must complete the 9-month Steve Hall intensive substance abuse program and follow all recommendations of that program. Add a condition upon release that you attend at least 3 NAAA meetings a week. Good luck.
Mr. Haggins, you have one vote to grant, one vote to revoke. I've looked at your file. You pled guilty to all of the charges with a statement. And, most of these allegations have come as a result of your dishonesty. You are an alcoholic, and my real concern is public safety. It just is. I do agree with both colleagues that you need long-term substance abuse treatment, but I'm just not willing to vote to release you under any conditions at this point. My vote is to revoke and recommend that you be allowed to participate in a long-term treatment program. So good luck to you, sir. You have 2 votes to revoke. Your parole has been revoked.
Good. May I ask a question?
Certainly.
What does that mean, like revoke? Like,
it means that you've been revoked. You'll go back to serving your original sentence, and hopefully you can get into a treatment program and reapply at some later time.
you mean I have to go back to prison for life?
That's the sentence.
We don't calculate time here.
We don't calculate the time.
The calculation of time will do all that, so we don't know. But we don't want to guess or anything because that's not our job.
That's right. So good luck to you, Mr. Haggins.